Hello? I'm the guy who sits next to you and reads the newspaper over your shoulder. Wait, don't turn the page. I'm not finished. Life is so uncertain.
Here I am. Yes, it's me. Take my hand and you'll see. Here I am. Yes, it's true. All I want, girl, is you.
What is a self-portrait? When I received my piece of art from Rita to use as inspiration for my second submission in this art tag assignment, I was completely puzzled by that enigmatic image. What is she trying to say to me? And when George emailed inspirational photos of self-portraits by Rembrandt and Walker Evans, and when Carol Engelbrecht sent around a photo of Louise Nevelson's self-portrait, I was suddenly shocked into a compelling need to review and study the whole process and the history of self-portraiture. It's an immense study. I managed to accomplish just enough to gain great appreciation for this assignment. From the cave dwellers forward, we have been caught up in the compelling drive to document our existence, to leave a record of our personal history, our last word perhaps, the need to describe ourselves. And as we advance in age, we learn to acknowledge our temporal condition. Self-portraits are perhaps more relevant now. Artists have been showing us the face behind the canvas since the mid-15th century. They frequently depicted themselves as either the main subject or as important characters in their work. With better and cheaper mirrors and the advent of the panel portrait, many painters tried some form of self-portraiture. A man in a turban, painted in 1433 by Jan van Eyck, may well be the earliest known panel self-portrait. Today, in an age of selfies, we're inundated with self-portraits. Everyone seems to be compelled to incessantly record moments in their lives, wherever, whenever, and with whomever. We live at a time that represents the pinnacle of a history of self-portraits. With the social media we enjoy today, everyone can share their existence, save it as a record for review, and as an exhibit whenever desired. A good self-portrait commands attention. Its presence should be forceful enough to require considerable observation. Whatever time may be necessary to understand what emotional forces tug at the viewer. It should provide mystery and thus further the drive for examination and understanding. It should, with concentrated study, reveal elements of the identity of the subject. After all, the portrait can represent an artistic expression, a statement, a confession, an unveiling. It's an exhibit, a public display for the benefit of thorough analysis, criticism, or even condemnation. It can reveal flaws and imperfections, strengths, beauty, and physical or emotional attraction. It can inspire any of the human emotions: humor, pathos, sympathy, sorrow, joy. And when the viewer has gained all the information available from examining the self-portrait, it can provide knowledge, an accomplished sense of understanding, a conspiratorial alliance, perhaps a subversive kind of synergy. What are we trying to say at this moment in our lives when we make an image of ourselves? Are we trying to express the wholeness of our being, the whole aggregate of our life's experiences? Or does the aesthetic we practice as an artist allow just an extemporaneous view? Do we have license to present anything we choose from the vast history of events, people, or places that inhabit this being? I see a history of lives and events in my personal review, the loss of a father at the age of 10 and the results of those new conditions forced on the family, a struggle to continue as a teenager while inexorably being conscripted to serve in the interest of the family's survival. I see an 18-year-old teenager running away from a young life of obligation. I see elopement and new obligations, similar persistent challenges and struggles in a new environment, eventually a divorce and the pain of separation, grief, pity, blame. My personal review shows an extended period of struggling while building a new social and economic world, a successful career, relationships, failed relationships, another failed marriage, learning to survive. It's a portrait of events, places, friends, love affairs, joy and pain. It's a history that provides comprehension, self-confidence, self-reliance, self-awareness, a presence. How can all of this history not be considered?